wonder why some engines sound like a screaming chainsaw while others purr like a smooth, quiet car? The secret isn't just magic, it's engineering. It all comes down to the engine cycle, two-stroke and four-stroke. In this video, we are going to break down exactly how these engines work, why they sound so different, and which one is actually better for your needs. Let's dive in. As you can see, before we get technical, let's define one term, the stroke. A stroke is simply the movement of the piston from the top of the cylinder to the bottom. In any internal combustion engine, 4 events must happen to create power. First, intake, getting fuel and air in. Compression, squeezing it. Power, the explosion or combustion, and exhaust, pushing the smoke out. The big difference is about how and when these events happen. Let's start with the four-stroke. This is standard for most cars and commuter motorcycles. As the name implies, the piston travels up and down 4 times to complete one power cycle. That's 2 full rotations of the crankshaft. At first, as I said, intake. The intake valve opens and the piston sucks in air and fuel. Step 2, compression. Valve close and the piston compresses the mixture. Step 3, power. A spark plug ignites it and the explosion pushes the piston down. This is where your power comes from. And step 4, exhaust. Finally, the exhaust valve opens and the piston pushes the fumes out. Because this is so precise, four-stroke engines are fuel efficient and clean running. And two-stroke engine. Now let's look at the two-stroke. These engines are simpler and lighter because they don't use heavy valves. Instead, they use ports in the cylinder walls. Upward movement in a two-stroke engine. The piston compresses the fuel and at the same time it sucks new fuel into the air below the piston. And downward movement, ignition happens, the piston is forced down, and as it descends, it pushes the burned exhaust out and forces new fuel into the combustion chamber. Basically, you get a power stroke with every revolution. That's why these engines feel so snappy and responsive. Okay, a clear comparison table, key differences actually. So, what are the trade-offs? First, the oil. In a two-stroke, you have to mix oil with your gasoline because there is no separate oil pan. That's why they often smoke and have that distinct smell. Four-strokes, however, have a dedicated oiling system. Two-strokes are lighter and produce insane power for their size, but they wear out faster. Four-strokes are durable, quiet, eco-friendly. Okay, so which one wins? It depends on your goal. If you need a lightweight tool that works at any angle, like a chainsaw, a weed whacker, or a racing dirt bike, the two-stroke is king. But if you want reliability, fuel economy, lower emission for your car or daily bike, the four-stroke is clearly the better choice. Thanks for watching. If this helped you understand engines better, hit that like button, subscribe for more engineering explained, and let me know in the comments, are you team raw power or team reliability? See you in the next one.